Have you ever wondered why, despite your love for God, your talents, and your desire to serve others, you still find yourself struggling financially? Why do those who are handpicked by God often face financial hardship while others seem to thrive effortlessly? Is it a punishment, or is there a deeper divine purpose behind it all? If you have been wrestling with these questions, you are not alone. Many of God's chosen people have faced financial difficulties, not as a sign of His absence, but as a strategic part of His plan for their growth, refinement, and ultimate success. This message will reveal powerful biblical truths about why chosen ones often endure financial struggles. It will shift your perspective, strengthen your faith, and equip you with the wisdom needed to navigate your current season. By the end, you will not only understand your financial challenges differently, but you will also see how they are shaping you for something far greater than you could ever imagine. I invite you to hit that subscribe button and join this journey of abundance. Like this video and comment, "I am ready." Stay with me until the end, as we will also pray a powerful prayer together, one that could open doors and lead you into a season of divine provision and breakthrough. When financial difficulties arise, it is natural to feel discouraged, abandoned, or even forgotten by God. The weight of unpaid bills, missed opportunities, and constant financial pressure can lead one to question their faith, wondering why God would allow such hardship. However, the truth is that financial struggles are not a sign of God's absence or punishment, but rather a divine tool He uses to prepare, refine, and strengthen His chosen ones for a greater purpose. Throughout the Bible, we see that God often allows His people to go through seasons of lack, not to destroy them, but to build them into who He has called them to be. One powerful example of this is the Israelites' journey through the wilderness. After being delivered from slavery in Egypt, they did not immediately enter the Promised Land. Instead, they wandered for 40 years. This period of hardship was not a mistake, nor was it a form of divine neglect. Rather, it was an intentional season of refinement, designed to teach them obedience, reliance on God, and trust in His provision. During this time, God provided for them in miraculous ways. Instead of allowing them to rely on agriculture or trade, He sent manna from heaven daily, reinforcing the truth that their survival was not dependent on material wealth or human effort, but on His divine provision. The lesson was clear: man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. Similarly, when chosen ones face financial struggles today, it is often because God is stripping away their false sense of security in money. Wealth, while useful, can sometimes become an idol, something people depend on instead of God. By allowing seasons of financial difficulty, God calls His people back to full dependence on Him, reminding them that He alone is their provider. This period of hardship is not meant to destroy, but to prepare to cultivate faith, wisdom, humility, and resilience. If you are currently facing financial difficulties, take heart. This is not the end of your story, but a divine process meant to shape you for something greater. Trust that God is working behind the scenes, refining you and preparing you for the blessings that are yet to come. Your financial struggle is not a punishment. It is a tool in the hands of a loving Father who is molding you into the person He has destined you to be. One of the greatest spiritual dangers of financial abundance is the illusion of self-sufficiency. When money is plentiful, it is easy to believe that our security lies in our savings, careers, or investments rather than in God. Wealth, though a blessing, can quietly take the place of God in our hearts, making us more dependent on material possessions than on the One who provides them. This is why financial struggles often serve as a divine lesson, reminding us that our true source of provision and stability is not money, but God Himself. Jesus directly addressed this in Matthew 6:24, saying, "No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money." These words are a clear warning. Wealth should never become our master. If we are not careful, money can slowly take control of our hearts, dictating our decisions, influencing our values, and ultimately drawing us away from God. For this reason, God sometimes allows His chosen ones to go through financial difficulties, not to harm them, but to teach them the foundational truth that He alone is their provider. When resources are scarce, we are compelled to turn to Him in prayer, to trust Him more deeply, and to experience His supernatural provision in ways we otherwise would not. True wealth is not measured by the size of our bank accounts, but by the depth of our reliance on God. When we place our trust in Him rather than in money, we find a security that no financial crisis can shake. If you have God, you have everything. Money has a unique way of revealing a person's true character. Many believe that financial struggles are merely about a lack of money, but in reality, they are often tests of spiritual integrity and maturity. God uses financial hardship not just to refine our financial habits, but to examine the condition of our hearts. When money is scarce, our faith is tested. Will we remain devoted to God, or will we turn away in frustration and doubt? It is easy to trust God when everything is going well, but the real question is, will you remain faithful even when financial success is delayed? Will you continue to serve Him when provision seems uncertain? These moments of struggle reveal what truly holds our loyalty, God or money. If we only worship Him when He blesses us financially, then our faith is shallow and conditional. A powerful example of this is found in the story of Job. He was a righteous man who had great wealth, yet God allowed him to lose everything: his fortune, his health, and even his family. Despite his suffering, Job refused to turn his back on God. He endured the test, and because of his unwavering faith, God restored him twice as much as before. In the same way, financial struggles may be God's way of testing your readiness for greater blessings. If you remain steadfast, trusting Him through the trials, He will reward your faithfulness. Your current hardships are not meant to break you, but to prepare you for the abundance He has planned for you. Pass the test, and you will be positioned for even greater blessings. God never promotes those who are not prepared. If He has called you to something great, He will first equip you through seasons of testing and refinement. One of the ways He does this is through financial struggles. Though it may seem like a setback, this season of lack is actually a time of preparation, where God develops the wisdom, discipline, and strength you will need to handle greater blessings in the future. Managing wealth is a responsibility, not just a privilege. If given too soon, riches can become a burden rather than a blessing. That is why God often allows His chosen ones to go through financial difficulties, to cultivate in them the humility, gratitude, and stewardship required to manage abundance properly. If you cannot handle a little, how can you be entrusted with much? A powerful biblical example of this is the life of Joseph. He was destined to rule over Egypt, but before he could step into that position, he endured years of hardship, betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, and later imprisoned for a crime he did not commit. Joseph's journey was filled with trials. Yet, it was in those dark places that God shaped his character, strengthened his faith, and refined his leadership skills. When the time was right, God elevated him to a position of great influence, where he was responsible for saving an entire nation. Likewise, your financial struggles are not meant to harm you, but to prepare you for something far greater. When God finally releases the blessings He has in store for you, you will be ready to handle them with wisdom and purpose. This is not a delay, it is divine preparation for a future of impact and abundance. Trust the process, for God is making you ready. Not all financial struggles come as a result of poor decisions or lack of effort. Sometimes, the challenges you face are not about what you did wrong, but about who you are in God's kingdom. The enemy knows that if you are financially free, you will use your resources to bless others, support God's work, and break generational curses. That is why Satan actively works to hinder the financial prosperity of God's chosen ones, throwing up roadblocks, causing delays, and creating obstacles that make it difficult to move forward. The Bible reminds us in Ephesians 6:12, "For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world." This means that financial hardship is not always a natural issue, it can be a spiritual battle. The enemy wants to keep you in a state of struggle so that you feel discouraged, distracted, and even doubtful of God's promises. If he can convince you that you will always be lacking, he can weaken your faith and limit your impact. However, take heart. God is fighting for you. The enemy may try to block your financial breakthrough, but he cannot stop God's plan for your life. When you recognize that your struggles may be a result of spiritual warfare, you can begin to fight back through prayer, fasting, and unwavering faith. Trust that God is greater than any force that comes against you, and your financial breakthrough will come at the appointed time. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and what the enemy meant for evil, God will turn for your good. Stay strong, stay faithful, and watch how God moves on your behalf. Not everyone can handle wealth without it affecting their heart. While financial abundance can be a blessing, it also carries great spiritual risks. Many people, when given riches, gradually drift away from God. What was once a blessing becomes a distraction. Instead of using their wealth to serve God's kingdom, they become consumed with materialism, pride, and self-indulgence. The more they accumulate, the more they trust in their possessions rather than in the one who provided them. Proverbs 16:18 warns us, "Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall." Wealth has a way of making people feel invincible, leading them to believe they no longer need God. This false sense of security can cause spiritual downfall. History and scripture are filled with examples of people who prospered financially but lost their spiritual foundation along the way. If God is withholding financial blessings from you, it may not be a rejection, but a form of divine protection. He knows your heart better than anyone and understands what you can handle at this moment. If wealth would lead you away from him, he may be delaying financial abundance until your character is strong enough to sustain it. A premature rise to financial success could become a curse rather than a blessing. Instead of resenting financial limitations, see them as God's loving hand, shielding you from the unseen dangers of wealth. Trust that he will release his blessings at the right time when you are fully prepared to handle them wisely. God's timing is perfect, and his plans for you are always for your good. Stay faithful, seek him above all else, and when the time is right, he will bless you in ways that will strengthen your faith, not weaken it. Not all financial struggles are meant to break you. Some are meant to redirect you. There are times when financial hardship is not a punishment, but a sign that you are pursuing your own plans instead of God's. He may be closing financial doors in one area because he has something far greater in store for you. However, when we are too focused on our own desires, we may resist his redirection, mistaking it for failure rather than divine intervention. Colossians 3:2 reminds us, Set your minds on things above, not on earthly things. This means that as believers, we should not measure success solely by financial gain, but by how aligned we are with God's purpose for our lives. If you find yourself constantly struggling financially, it may be time to step back and ask, am I truly walking in God's will, or am I chasing my own ambitions? Sometimes we push forward with our own plans, convinced that financial success is the ultimate goal, only to find that God is gently but firmly steering us in a different direction. Perhaps He is calling you into ministry, a new career, or a mission that does not promise immediate wealth but carries eternal significance. Rather than resisting these closed doors, embrace them as opportunities to seek His guidance and realign your path with His divine plan. If you are experiencing financial struggles, take it as an opportunity to reflect, pray, and ask God what He's trying to show you. His plans are always greater than ours, and when we trust Him, He will provide in ways beyond what we could ever imagine. What seems like a setback today may actually be the first step toward your true calling and destiny. God allows His chosen ones to go through financial hardship, not only for their own growth, but also to cultivate empathy and compassion for others. When you have personally experienced lack, you develop a deeper understanding of what it means to struggle. This first-hand experience softens your heart, making you more willing to help those in need, be generous when you are blessed, and show kindness to those facing similar challenges. It is easy to overlook the struggles of others when you have never faced them yourself. But when you have endured financial hardship, when you have felt the weight of unpaid bills, the uncertainty of not knowing where your next meal will come from, or the frustration of doors closing on opportunities, you gain a new perspective. You begin to see people not just with your eyes, but with your heart. 2 Corinthians 1:4 reminds us, He comforts us in all our troubles so that we can comfort those in any trouble. This means that the same God who walks with you through your struggles is equipping you to do the same for others. Your season of financial difficulty is not in vain. It is preparing you to be a blessing to someone else in the future. When God brings you into abundance, your past struggles will remind you to be generous. Instead of hoarding wealth, you will recognize the importance of giving, sharing, and lifting others up. You will understand that true riches are not measured by what you accumulate, but by how you use what you have to serve God and help His people. If you are facing financial struggles today, know that God is not only shaping your character, but also preparing you to be a vessel of His love, mercy, and provision for others. For some, financial struggles are not just personal battles, but part of a greater spiritual assignment, breaking a generational curse of poverty. If financial hardship has been a recurring theme in your family for generations, it is possible that God has chosen you to break the cycle. You're not just fighting for yourself, but paving the way for future generations to experience financial freedom and divine provision. Many families remain trapped in poverty due to patterns of poor financial management, fear, lack of knowledge, or even spiritual strongholds that have kept them in a cycle of lack. However, through Christ, these curses can be broken. Galatians 3:13 reminds us, Christ redeemed us from the curse of the law. This means that no matter what your family history looks like, you have the power through faith to rewrite your financial legacy. Breaking a generational curse requires wisdom, discipline, and spiritual perseverance. It means learning to manage money with biblical principles, practice good stewardship, and trust God's provision instead of living in fear of lack. It may also require making difficult choices, such as avoiding debt, seeking financial education, and being disciplined in saving and giving. If you are enduring financial hardship, do not see it as just a personal burden. See it as an opportunity. God is using you as a vessel to bring change. Your obedience today will create a new path for your children and grandchildren. The struggles you face now are building a foundation of financial wisdom and faith that will bless generations to come. Stand firm, trust God, and know that you are breaking barriers that have held your family back for too long. One of the most powerful lessons God teaches through financial struggles is the ability to trust Him, even when you cannot see a way out. True faith is not about believing when everything is going well. It is about holding on to God's promises even when circumstances seem hopeless. When resources are scarce and financial security seems distant, God is asking, "Will you still trust me?" Hebrews 11:1 declares, "Now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see." This means that faith is not based on what is visible, but on the unshakable belief that God is working, even when we do not understand how. Can you still have faith when your bank account is empty? Can you still praise Him when the bills are piling up? If you can, then you are developing the kind of faith that can move mountains. Angela's story serves as a powerful warning. She was a young woman who came from poverty but worked tirelessly to build a successful career. As her wealth grew, so did her distance from God. She became consumed with financial success, prioritizing money over her faith. She stopped praying, stopped going to church, and placed her trust in her own abilities rather than in God. Her downfall came swiftly. Her business collapsed, her marriage crumbled, and everything she had worked for vanished. But in her lowest moment, she realized that true wealth is not found in money, but in God. She turned back to Him, understanding that no amount of riches could replace His presence in her life. Let Angela's story be a reminder. Wealth can disappear, but faith in God lasts forever. If you are struggling financially, see it as an opportunity to build unshakable faith, the kind that stands strong whether you have little or much. God is your provider, and He will never fail you. You are in a season of preparation, refinement, and testing. When the time is right, He will open doors that no man can shut. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, thank You for Your divine plan. We trust that You are preparing us for greater blessings. Strengthen our faith, teach us to rely on You, and lead us into financial freedom in Your perfect timing. In Jesus' name, Amen. If this message has touched your heart, share it with someone who needs encouragement. Your breakthrough is coming. There are mysteries in this world, truths so powerful that only a few are meant to understand them. And among these, there are secrets that God's chosen ones should never reveal. Think about it. There are things even you keep locked away, thoughts and plans you wouldn't share with just anyone. There is immense power in silence, yet this power often goes unnoticed. Silence is not merely an absence of words, it is a shield, a strategy, a force that guards your destiny. By choosing silence, you become an enigma, less predictable, less vulnerable, and far more powerful than you realize. Not everything is meant to be spoken. In today's revealing message, I will share with you 5 crucial things that God's chosen ones should never discuss publicly. Some matters are meant to be kept between you and the Lord alone. Stay with me until the end to uncover these divine revelations, truths that will protect your journey and empower your spiritual growth. 1. Your future plans and dreams, the power of hidden growth. Your dreams and future plans are among the most sacred gifts God has given you, and they must be protected, nurtured, and guarded with wisdom. The enemy does not have full access to your destiny. He cannot see the future as God does. Instead, he operates through assumptions, gathering information based on what you reveal. The more details you carelessly share, the more opportunities you give him to interfere, delay, or even derail God's plan for your life. Proverbs 29:11 reminds us that a fool gives full vent to his spirit, but a wise person holds back. It is not about secrecy for secrecy's sake, but about understanding the importance of divine timing and discretion. Consider Mary, the mother of Jesus. She was given one of the most profound revelations in human history, that she would bear the Son of God. Yet, she did not go about broadcasting this news to everyone she met. Instead, she pondered these things in her heart, Luke 2:19, waiting for the appointed time. This is a powerful lesson. Not everything God shows you is meant for immediate exposure. Some visions are like seeds planted in the soil. They require time to take root, grow, and strengthen before they are ready to bear fruit. If exposed too soon, they may not survive skepticism, criticism, or spiritual attack. Many dreams fail, not because they lack divine origin, but because they are revealed prematurely. Announcing your plans too early can invite doubt, discouragement, and even opposition from those who do not share your vision. Some may belittle your aspirations, question your abilities, or attempt to steer you away from your purpose. Others, driven by envy, may actively work against you. Even well-meaning people can unintentionally sow seeds of fear and hesitation in your heart, causing you to second-guess what God has placed within you. The Bible provides numerous examples of this. Joseph, the dreamer, learned this lesson the hard way. When he eagerly shared his God-given dreams with his brothers, their jealousy led them to betray him, selling him into slavery, Genesis 37. Though God ultimately fulfilled his promise in Joseph's life, his premature revelation brought unnecessary hardship along the way. The wise move in silence, allowing their progress to speak for itself. Instead of seeking public validation, surrender your plans to God in prayer. Seek counsel only from a trusted circle, those who are spiritually mature, discerning, and genuinely supportive. Allow your dreams to mature in the secret place, where they are safe from harm. When the time is right, God Himself will bring them into the light. Just as a tree does not announce its growth, but eventually bears fruit for all to see, your success will become evident in due time. Until then, walk in patience, wisdom, and faith, knowing that what God has started in you, He will surely bring to completion. Philippians 1:6. 2. Your family matters. Guarding the sacred circle. Your family is one of the most precious gifts God has given you, and it deserves to be protected, honored, and guarded with wisdom. Yet, many people make the mistake of exposing their family's private struggles to the world, unknowingly opening doors for unnecessary judgment, gossip, and even division. Whether it's marital disputes, financial difficulties, conflicts with children, or personal struggles, not everything should be shared with outsiders. In today's world, where people impulsively vent their frustrations on social media or confide in acquaintances who do not have their best interests at heart, many unknowingly weaken the foundation of their own households. The Bible teaches us in Proverbs 17:9, "Whoever would foster love covers an offense, but whoever repeats the matter separates close friends." This means that true wisdom lies in protecting your family's dignity rather than exposing its weaknesses. One of the greatest dangers of oversharing family matters is that most people you confide in have their own struggles, but they do not share them with you. They keep their issues private while you openly discuss yours, making your family vulnerable to scrutiny and criticism. Moreover, when you expose the flaws of your loved ones in moments of frustration, you shape how others perceive them, and those impressions are often difficult to erase. A moment of anger can lead to lasting damage in the eyes of relatives, friends, and even the public. What's worse, Those who do not have your family's best interests at heart may use your words against you, twisting your vulnerabilities into weapons. Instead of strengthening your household, oversharing can invite more problems and drive deeper wedges between family members. Consider how Mary and Joseph handled their own challenges. When Joseph first learned of Mary's pregnancy, he had every reason to feel confused and betrayed, yet he did not publicly disgrace her. Matthew 1:19. He chose discretion, and because of his wisdom, God provided divine clarity and guidance. Imagine if Mary had gone around venting about Joseph's initial doubts. How much damage would that have caused to their relationship and to God's divine plan? Instead, they resolved their matters privately, trusting in God's direction. This is a powerful lesson for us today. Some issues are meant to be handled within the sacred circle of family. Rather than exposing family struggles to the wrong people, seek wise counsel from spiritually mature mentors or counselors who uphold confidentiality and can provide godly wisdom. Not everyone who listens to your problems truly cares, and not every piece of advice is rooted in biblical truth. 1 Peter 4:8 reminds us, above all, love each other deeply, because love covers over a multitude of sins. Love does not mean ignoring problems, but it does mean handling them with grace, patience, and wisdom rather than reckless exposure. By choosing discretion over public drama, you create a home that is a sanctuary of trust, healing, and restoration. Your family is your sacred circle. Protect it fiercely and trust that God, who sees all things, will guide you through every challenge with his divine wisdom. 3. Your first victories and breakthroughs. Letting success speak for itself. One of the most crucial lessons in life is knowing when to speak and when to remain silent, especially when it comes to your first victories and breakthroughs. It is natural to feel excited when God opens doors, grants a promotion, provides financial blessings, or gives you success in a new venture. The temptation to immediately announce these blessings can be strong, but wisdom teaches us that premature exposure can attract unnecessary opposition. Proverbs 21:5 warns us, "The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty." This means that while your success is worth celebrating, it must be handled with patience and discretion. Consider the life of David. Before he became king, he had one of the most remarkable victories in history, defeating Goliath. Yet, even after this great triumph, he did not boast about his success or declare himself Israel's next ruler. Instead, he continued to serve humbly, waiting for God's perfect timing. If David had prematurely exalted himself, he might have drawn the wrath of King Saul too soon and jeopardized his future reign. His story teaches us an important lesson. Early victories are fragile, and announcing them too soon can attract envy, sabotage, and spiritual attacks. In the same way, young entrepreneurs, professionals, and dreamers often make the mistake of sharing their breakthroughs too soon. They start a business, and before it's even stable, they boast about their achievements, only to later struggle under unforeseen challenges. Some people announce new relationships before they have been tested, and when problems arise, they are left dealing with public scrutiny. Others receive a financial breakthrough and immediately showcase their wealth, attracting the wrong kind of attention. The Bible provides clear guidance on this in Proverbs 27:2. Let another praise you, and not your own mouth, a stranger, and not your own lips. True success does not need to be broadcasted. It will eventually speak for itself. Additionally, not everyone who listens to your victories is happy for you. Some may pretend to support you, but inwardly, they are envious or even working against you. Joseph, in the book of Genesis, learned this the hard way. When he shared his dreams of greatness with his brothers, instead of celebrating, they became jealous and sold him into slavery. Genesis 37. His destiny was still fulfilled, but his premature revelation led to unnecessary suffering. His story is a clear warning. Sometimes silence is your best protection. When God blesses you, take time to establish your foundation before making public declarations. Let your achievements grow in strength and stability before revealing them. Instead of rushing to seek validation, trust that in the right season, your victories will be undeniable. Success that is built in silence and sustained with wisdom will endure, while success that is flaunted prematurely often crumbles under pressure. Stay humble, stay focused, and let God's hand be the one that lifts you up in due time. 4. Your financial situation. Wealth and wisdom in secrecy money has a way of revealing a person's character, and how you handle your financial situation, whether wealth or lack, can determine the level of peace, security, and wisdom in your life. Many people fall into the trap of openly discussing their earnings, assets, investments, and financial struggles, not realizing that such information can invite unwanted attention, jealousy, manipulation, or even spiritual attacks. In today's social media age, it has become common to flaunt luxury purchases, exotic vacations, or financial milestones for public validation. However, Proverbs 13:11 warns us, "Wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it." True financial success is not about displaying riches, it is about stewarding them wisely. One of the greatest dangers of openly discussing your financial situation is that not everyone who listens has good intentions. Some may begin to treat you differently, expecting favors or handouts. Others may develop envy, leading to strained relationships and hidden resentment. Even family members can become opportunistic when they believe you have more than they do. On the other hand, if you frequently talk about your financial struggles, some may judge you, look down on you, or even use that information against you. Your financial state, whether abundant or lacking, is personal, and discretion is key. The Bible teaches us in Proverbs 27:2, "Let another praise you and not your own mouth, a stranger and not your own lips." This applies even in financial matters. Let your lifestyle speak for itself, rather than making unnecessary declarations about your wealth or success. Joseph, in the book of Genesis, was entrusted with great wealth and resources in Egypt, yet he handled them with wisdom and discretion. He did not flaunt his position, but instead he strategically stored grain during years of plenty, ensuring long-term stability. Genesis 41. His financial prudence not only preserved his own future, but also saved an entire nation from famine. Similarly, in modern life, wise individuals understand the importance of modesty and financial privacy. Avoid announcing promotions, business profits, or salary increases unnecessarily. Avoid discussing bank balances, investments, or inheritances, even with close relatives, unless absolutely necessary. When God blesses you financially, focus on responsible stewardship rather than public exhibition. Matthew 6:3 advises, "But when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing." This shows that even in acts of generosity, privacy is valuable. By keeping your financial affairs discreet, you protect yourself from fraud, exploitation, envy, and unnecessary pressure. Focus on using your resources wisely, living within your means, and seeking God's guidance in financial decisions. The wealth that is quietly accumulated, wisely invested, and generously shared in humility will stand the test of time. True prosperity is not about showing the world what you have. It is about honoring God with what He has given you and ensuring it is used for His glory. 5. Your spiritual encounters, the mystery of divine secrets. There are moments in life when God reveals Himself to us in ways that are deeply personal. through visions, dreams, divine encounters, prophecies, and revelations. These experiences are sacred, meant to strengthen our faith, guide us, and prepare us for the journey ahead. However, not every spiritual encounter is meant to be shared publicly. Some are intended for your heart alone, for a season of incubation, reflection, and growth before being revealed, if ever. Matthew 7:6 warns us, "Do not give dogs what is sacred. Do not throw your pearls to pigs. If you do, they may trample them under their feet and turn and tear you to pieces." This means that sharing divine encounters with the wrong audience can lead to mockery, misunderstanding, and even spiritual attacks. The Bible provides clear examples of men and women who received divine revelations, but were instructed to keep them secret. In 2 Corinthians 12:4, Paul speaks of being caught up into paradise, where he heard inexpressible things, things that no one is permitted to tell. Likewise, in Revelation 10:4, John was about to write down what the seven thunders spoke, but he was told to seal up what was said and not reveal it. These instances show that some spiritual revelations are not meant for public discussion. They are meant for personal transformation and deeper intimacy with God. Even Mary, the mother of Jesus, demonstrated the wisdom of discretion. When the angel Gabriel told her that she would give birth to the Son of God, she did not run and declare it to the world. Instead, Luke 2:19 tells us that Mary treasured up all these things and pondered them in her heart. She allowed the promise to grow within her, just as she physically carried the Son of God before the fullness of time brought it into the light. This is a powerful lesson. Some revelations require spiritual maturity and divine timing before they can be shared. Speaking too soon may lead to doubt, opposition, or even attempts by the enemy to derail what God has planned. Unfortunately, in today's world, many people seek attention through their spiritual experiences, turning divine encounters into sensational stories for personal recognition rather than genuine testimony. This can lead to misinterpretation, pride, and distraction from the true purpose of the revelation. Instead of treating spiritual encounters as casual conversation, we should honor them with humility and discernment. When God speaks to you, whether through a dream, vision, or personal revelation, seek His guidance before sharing it. Ask Him, "Lord, is this something I should speak about, or is this something I should carry in my heart?" In many cases, God will instruct you to pray over it, meditate on it, and allow it to shape you privately before revealing it to others. Spiritual depth is cultivated in silence, where God refines, strengthens, and prepares you for what is to come. True wisdom is knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. May God grant you the discernment to protect the mysteries He entrusts to you, allowing them to deepen your faith rather than seeking approval from the world. Silence is not weakness, it is wisdom. God's chosen ones understand when to speak and when to remain silent. Your future, your family, your victories, your finances, and your spiritual encounters, these are treasures to guard. Let wisdom be your guide. Let silence be your strength. If you found this message powerful, subscribe, like, and share. May God bless you abundantly as you walk in divine wisdom. Walking a spiritual path is never easy, especially when you are among the chosen ones. Many people on this journey find themselves alone, disconnected from the world, and struggling financially. Society often measures success by material wealth and social connections, but for chosen ones, the road to true fulfillment is different. Being set apart from the majority is not a coincidence. It is a divine calling, a purpose greater than oneself. Yet this journey is filled with challenges, including solitude, financial hardships, and misunderstandings from those who do not comprehend your energy. These obstacles, however, are not meant to break you. They are designed to shape you into the person you were always meant to be. If this message resonates with you, support our community by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. We will uncover why chosen ones often face loneliness and financial struggles, and how these challenges can be turned into strengths that empower you. You are not alone. Embrace your journey with faith and strength. Solitude is an inevitable part of the journey for chosen ones. Walking a path of higher consciousness and spiritual awakening often means feeling disconnected from the world and misunderstood by those around you. While the human heart naturally longs for deep, meaningful relationships, chosen ones frequently find themselves in isolation, not by choice, but by design. This solitude is not a punishment. Rather, it is a necessary part of your transformation. It allows you to evolve into the person you were destined to become. One of the most significant reasons for this isolation is the energy barrier that exists between chosen ones and the rest of the world. You carry within you a radiant light, a spiritual frequency that is higher than most people's. This energy naturally attracts and repels others at the same time. Those who are open to growth and truth are drawn to your presence, feeling uplifted and inspired. However, many individuals who live in fear, doubt, or superficiality feel deeply uncomfortable around you, often without understanding why. Your energy acts as a mirror, revealing truths that they may not be ready to face. Instead of embracing this clarity, they instinctively pull away, distancing themselves from you in an attempt to remain in their comfort zones. Imagine someone who has lived in a dimly lit room for years. The low light has become familiar and comfortable to them, even though it limits what they can see. Then suddenly you enter the room carrying a bright lantern. In an instant, the entire space is illuminated, revealing not only the beauty of the surroundings, but also the dust, clutter, and imperfections that had been hidden in the shadows. For some, this newfound clarity is a blessing. They welcome the light, appreciating the ability to see what was once hidden. But for many others, the sudden exposure is overwhelming. They would rather return to the familiar dimness than face what has been revealed. This is what happens in your relationships. Your presence, your energy, your very existence brings to light the truths that others have been avoiding, often leading them to unconsciously withdraw from you. Another major factor contributing to your solitude is the imbalance in relationships. As a chosen one, you are a natural giver. Your presence is healing, your words are uplifting, and your energy is comforting. People are drawn to you, not just because of who you are, but because of how they feel in your presence. You may find that people open up to you easily, seeking your advice, your wisdom, or simply your energy to recharge themselves. While this can be fulfilling in some ways, it often leads to an unhealthy dynamic where you are constantly giving while others are only taking. Many people unconsciously use your energy as a source of emotional and spiritual nourishment without realizing that they are depleting you. They are drawn to your light, but they are unable to give back in the same way. Over time, this imbalance becomes exhausting, leaving you drained, unfulfilled, and emotionally depleted. You may notice that after spending time with certain individuals, you feel tired, anxious, or even empty. These people are not necessarily malicious. They may not even realize what they are doing. However, the result is the same. You become energetically exhausted, constantly pouring into others while receiving little to nothing in return. This pattern often leads to an unconscious distancing from such relationships. You begin to prefer solitude over connections that drain you. At first, this may feel like isolation, but over time, you will realize that it is a form of self-preservation. It is the recognition that you cannot continue giving endlessly without also receiving. If the people around you do not contribute to your well-being and instead leave you feeling depleted, it is far better to walk alone. This realization is a turning point. It marks the moment when you stop chasing relationships that do not serve your growth and start embracing the solitude that allows you to recharge, heal, and evolve. But solitude is not just about self-preservation. It is also a form of divine preparation. Being alone is not merely a phase that you will eventually move past. It is an essential period of growth and evolution. It is during these moments of solitude that you will undergo the most profound transformation. You will have the space and time to heal past wounds, to release old traumas that have been holding you back, and to reconnect with your true self. Without the noise and distractions of unbalanced relationships, you will find clarity about your purpose, your mission, and the next steps you need to take on your journey. Think of this period as a spiritual training ground. Just as a warrior must undergo rigorous preparation before battle, or a seed must remain buried before it can break through the soil and bloom, you too must go through this time of solitude to emerge stronger and more aligned with your destiny. This phase is not meant to break you. It is meant to mold you. It is refining you, sharpening your spirit, and preparing you for the incredible future that awaits. While loneliness may feel difficult in the moment, remember that it is not permanent. This solitude is not meant to isolate you forever, but rather to cleanse and prepare you for the relationships, opportunities, and spiritual breakthroughs that are yet to come. The people who are meant to be in your life, the ones who truly understand and appreciate your energy, will come when the time is right. They will be individuals who match your frequency, who uplift and support you rather than drain you. But in order to find these connections, you must first embrace the solitude that prepares you for them. Being alone is not a curse, it is a blessing in disguise. It is a sacred period of transformation, a time to strengthen your spirit, and a crucial step in becoming the person you were always meant to be. Instead of resisting it, embrace it. Let solitude be your teacher, your healer, and your guide. You are not alone in your loneliness. Every chosen one walks this path. And when the time is right, you will find that this journey has led you exactly where you were meant to be. For many, financial success is seen as a direct reflection of intelligence, hard work, and social status. Society equates wealth with power, influence, and security, shaping the belief that financial stability is the ultimate measure of success. However, chosen ones operate on a completely different level. Their lives are not driven by the pursuit of material wealth, but by a deep sense of purpose, meaning, and service to others. This fundamental difference in priorities often creates a disconnect between chosen ones and the traditional pathways to financial success, making their financial journey more challenging. Instead of chasing high-paying jobs or business ventures purely for profit, chosen ones tend to gravitate toward careers and vocations that align with their soul's mission. They are drawn to teaching, healing, artistic expression, and spiritual guidance, roles that contribute to the growth and well-being of others. These paths, while deeply fulfilling, do not always provide immediate financial rewards. Unlike conventional career paths, which prioritize financial gain, the work of a chosen one is often centered on service, personal evolution, and the betterment of humanity. This can create a tension between financial survival and staying true to their higher calling. Beyond their chosen fields, another challenge lies in the misalignment with traditional wealth-building methods. Money, like everything else in the universe, is energy. The way it flows into one's life is directly connected to their vibrational frequency. Conventional routes to financial success, such as corporate jobs, stock investments, or businesses focused solely on profit, may not resonate with the soul's energy of a chosen one. Many find that these methods feel empty, restrictive, or misaligned with their values, leading them to unconsciously resist them. This misalignment creates an internal block, making financial struggles seem persistent, even when chosen ones possess intelligence, talent, and dedication. It is not that they lack the ability to generate wealth, but rather that the conventional systems for accumulating wealth do not align with their spiritual purpose. They may even turn down lucrative opportunities that conflict with their values, choosing integrity over financial gain. While this decision reflects their commitment to authenticity, it can also result in periods of financial hardship, reinforcing the illusion that financial success is out of reach. However, financial abundance is not unattainable. It simply requires an alternative approach. Chosen ones are being called to create wealth in ways that honor their spiritual mission. Instead of focusing solely on accumulating money, they must find ways to generate financial abundance through value creation, service, and alignment with their divine purpose. This could mean developing spiritually aligned businesses, using creative gifts to inspire others, or creating meaningful content that uplifts humanity. When chosen ones learn to integrate financial prosperity with their higher calling, abundance naturally begins to flow into their lives. Many chosen ones also carry inherited financial limitations from their family lineage. Generational financial trauma, scarcity mindsets, and ancestral struggles with money can create subconscious beliefs that block the natural flow of abundance. These limiting beliefs, such as money is evil, wealth only comes through struggle, or I am not worthy of financial success, become deeply ingrained and influence financial outcomes, often without conscious awareness. Breaking free from these generational patterns requires deep healing. It involves identifying and releasing inherited beliefs, shifting perspectives on wealth, and cultivating a mindset of abundance. By doing this inner work, chosen ones can clear the energetic barriers that have kept them in financial struggle, allowing money to flow into their lives in a way that aligns with their spiritual path. Once these blocks are removed, financial opportunities begin to appear, often in unexpected and divine ways. Financial struggles also serve a higher purpose. They are a test of faith and trust in the universe. When you are called to a higher mission, there will be moments of uncertainty, times when resources seem scarce, and situations where financial security is not guaranteed. These challenges are not meant to break you. They are meant to strengthen your resilience and deepen your trust in the divine. Learning to surrender and trust that your needs will be met, even when circumstances suggest otherwise, is a powerful spiritual lesson. It shifts your focus from fear and scarcity to faith and abundance. True wealth is not just about money. It is about alignment with your soul's purpose, freedom to live authentically, and the ability to impact others in a meaningful way. When chosen ones fully embrace this perspective, financial struggles lose their power. Instead of being a source of stress, they become stepping stones toward a greater understanding of abundance and divine provision. In the end, financial hardship is not a sign of failure, but rather a process of refinement. It forces you to find innovative ways to thrive, to trust in your gifts, and to develop a deeper relationship with the universe's flow of abundance. When chosen ones learn to integrate their spiritual calling with financial prosperity, they discover that wealth is not about chasing money. It is about attracting the right opportunities, people, and circumstances that align with their true mission. And when that alignment happens, financial freedom becomes not only possible, but inevitable. Loneliness and financial hardship are two of the most difficult challenges a chosen one can face. It is easy to view these struggles as burdens, as signs of failure, or as obstacles that separate you from the life you desire. However, when seen through the lens of spiritual growth, these challenges are not meant to break you, but to mold you into a stronger, wiser, and more aligned version of yourself. Solitude is not isolation, it is preparation. Financial hardship is not punishment, it is a call to align with your true purpose. When you begin to embrace these experiences as tools for transformation, you unlock a power within yourself that can change not only your own life, but also the lives of those around you. One of the most important shifts you can make is learning to embrace solitude as a source of strength. Instead of seeing loneliness as something to escape, recognize it as a sacred space for self-discovery. This period of isolation allows you to strengthen your connection with the divine, deepen your understanding of your own soul, and develop inner resilience. Without the distractions of unhealthy relationships or social pressures, you are given the space to uncover who you truly are. Many of the greatest spiritual leaders, thinkers, and creators in history have spent significant time in solitude. It is during these quiet moments that inspiration arises, personal healing takes place, and new visions for the future are born. Solitude is also an opportunity to cultivate new skills, explore creative talents, and discover passions that may have been buried beneath the noise of everyday life. Whether it is writing, painting, learning a new craft, or developing a deeper spiritual practice, this time alone can become the foundation for personal and professional growth. As you refine your gifts, you will naturally attract the right people and opportunities into your life, people who align with your energy and appreciate the depth of your soul. This is why chosen ones often find that, after a period of solitude, they step into relationships and communities that are far more meaningful and fulfilling than those they left behind. You are learning to value quality over quantity, to seek genuine connection rather than superficial validation, and to trust that the universe is guiding you toward relationships that truly nourish your soul. Beyond solitude, another essential transformation is redefining what wealth truly means to you. In a world that equates success with financial status, it is easy to feel like you are failing if you are struggling to make ends meet. However, true wealth is not just about money, it is about freedom, purpose, and impact. Instead of focusing solely on financial survival, shift your perspective toward creating value in ways that feel authentic and fulfilling. When you align your natural talents with service to others, financial abundance begins to follow naturally. Think about the unique gifts you possess, the knowledge, creativity, and insight that set you apart. How can you use these gifts to uplift, teach, inspire, or heal others? Whether through teaching, coaching, writing, art, or any other form of expression, your path to financial abundance lies in your ability to serve with integrity and passion. When you pour yourself into work that is aligned with your soul's purpose, money stops being something you chase and becomes something that flows to you effortlessly. The more you focus on contribution rather than mere survival, the more opportunities will present themselves, often in ways you never expected. At the heart of this transformation is trust. Trusting the journey, even when you do not fully understand it, is one of the most powerful things you can do as a chosen one. Every challenge you face is a step toward becoming the person you are meant to be. Your solitude is preparing you for true connections. Your financial struggles are shaping you into someone who understands resilience, creativity, and the deeper meaning of abundance. Your purpose will lead you to prosperity in ways that go beyond what you can currently see. The universe is not working against you. It is aligning everything in your life for a greater purpose. Even the struggles you face today are part of a larger plan that is leading you towards something extraordinary. The moment you surrender to this truth, everything changes. You stop resisting your journey and start embracing it. You recognize that you are not alone, that your hardships are temporary, and that you are being guided toward a future filled with meaning, fulfillment, and abundance. So instead of fearing solitude, welcome it. Instead of resenting financial struggles, learn from them. Instead of doubting your journey, trust it. You are not just surviving these challenges, you are being shaped by them, strengthened by them, and prepared for something far greater than you can imagine. Being a chosen one is not an easy path, but it is a meaningful one. The loneliness and financial hardships are not punishments, but divine preparations. You are being shaped for a life of impact, authenticity, and purpose. The world needs your light, your wisdom, and your presence. Embrace your journey. Every challenge is refining you. Every struggle is teaching you, and in time, you will step into the fullness of your purpose, stronger, wiser, and ready to shine. If this message resonates with you, share your thoughts, connect with others on this path, and remember, you are not alone.